All right, let's get to it.
Okay guys, welcome back to the Modern Bar Stool project. Today we're going to talk about step 3 for the project. These are Matthew's boards here. He's got them all glued up, so he's got his 1, 2, 3 of his 3/4 inch boards in glue, and he's actually done a pretty good job scraping the majority of all the glue off, which I want you guys to do first, just because it's kind of hard on the joiner knives and stuff like that. We can get a little more life out of them if we scrape as much of that glue off as we can. So just a couple of quick things on how to set this machine up for this particular process is because of the size of these blocks, our guard doesn't actually go that high. So what we will do is just keep the guard nice and low. So put the guard all the way on the table, spin that up, and just push the guard over and crank this knob just tight enough so that it's not going to move. And then we have a very minimal amount of cutter exposed. And because our piece of wood is below the height of the fence, we're going to use a push stick as well. Okay, before I do this, I just want to make sure, because having these boards end up square is critical. So I want to just take my square and just take a minute and double check that the fence is indeed square to the table, and it is. That looks good. Okay, so my depth adjustment lever on the back side here, I'm going to just take off kind of a fairly small amount of material. Again, this machine's not meant for removing a lot of material, and because these are already pretty square, I'm not going to have a ton of work to do, so I'm just going to keep it down, taking about maybe a 1/16 of an inch off at a time, which is where I'm at. Okay, I'm moving from right to left as the arrows indicate on the fence. Put my safety glasses on. And let's remember that this machine is all about balance. Okay, so I need to put equal pressure front and back on this thing at the same time. And of course I'm going to be using my push stick, but still equal balance even with a push stick. Okay? Before I joint this, again, just like you guys have already done on the planing, on the second step, give yourself a big pencil mark there, just so that you know that it's been fully surfaced or not. Okay, now with these particular machines as well, hold the green button or the start button on, keep holding it down until the machine comes up to full speed. Just a bit of a quirky thing with this machine. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so just like everything we do in here, slow and smooth helps make things more accurate. Okay, so that looks really good. I've gotten rid of all my pencil marks, all the glue is gone, and I'm perfectly surfaced. In fact, if I take it on the planer, I can check, or sorry, on the surface of the joiner, I can check, and sure enough, that thing is nice and flat. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is mark that as my reference face with a little mark. A little 6. I don't know why that's the international symbol for reference face, I guess. I'm not sure how they decided that. But this surface is now going to go flat against the fence, and that's the part I really need to focus on, making sure that that stays flat. So face against the fence, and we're going to do that again. So that looks pretty good. So you can see when I was doing that, in order to keep my reference face against the fence, I was kind of using an angle on the push stick that was more forcing it against the fence. That was more the technique, slightly different technique there. And we're just going to make sure now we mark this edge with a V and they point to each other. That way we know that this is the square pair of surfaces that we've now created. And if I want, I can double check that with my square. And that looks real good. Okay guys, here we are at the planer now. I know we've already done a video on the planer, but this is the next step after we go to the jointer in our stock breakout process. Okay, so first, let's just recap real quick what we've done. We've glued these all up. Now we've gone to the jointer, we've jointed a face and labeled it. We jointed an adjacent edge and we've labeled it. Now we're ready to keep going through our stock breakout process and we're ready to do width. Now in this case, because this is a square piece, we can actually do width and thickness on the planer together. And actually, not only that, but we're going to do them at the same time so that we not only get this thing parallel thickness and width, but they also become exactly the same thickness and width. Okay, so it's kind of two steps there. So you guys already know how to do this, but simple, quick setup with the planer. We're going to measure the thickness and width of what we are currently at. We're 1 3/8. Okay, and you guys will find that you may have one that's thicker than the other. Start with the smaller side, start with the thicker dimension and then work lower from there. Okay, so this one's actually both about the same. So I got my planer set at 2 3/8. Now, of course, I'm not going to take anything off there if my board is 2 3/8, so I'm going to go one more half a turn, right? Just like you guys would. Now, when I run this through, first of all, we're actually going to have our whole stack ready to go. Okay, so we're going to run our face with our symbol there. We're going to run our face down. And then I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to run the same piece through a second time, only this time I'm going to flip it so that the edge is down and I'm going to run that through again, right? And then I'm going to do the same thing to all of these. Once I'm through all of them, then I'm going to crank up the planer and go again, okay? All the way until I'm down a dimension of 2 1/8 in thickness and width, okay? And just something too, I should always still have these two marks here. So these two surfaces never get planed again, right? We're only ever planing off the surfaces opposite our face and edge, okay? So here we go. Okay, so now that my entire batch has been done, always with the face or the edge down, I can now take my planer, crank it up another half a turn or so, and do the same process all over again until I get down to that critical dimension of 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. Always remembering to keep the face down or the edge down, because we're going to do it twice. Okay? That's it.